Happy Thanksgiving. Our Chicago Bears will be taking on the Detroit Lions in Detroit on Thanksgiving morning at 11:30 a.m. Can the Chicago Bears finally win a game for the first time in over a month? Watch this video to hear my thoughts. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears pregame prediction video, which I'll be doing before every single Bears game this year. And happy Thanksgiving to you guys. If you guys are watching this on Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have a lot of fun with family, with friends, whoever you're celebrating with. Eat a lot of good food, have some good times, and hopefully try not to stress too much about the Chicago Bears, because the Chicago Bears don't deserve your attention or your stress, honestly, at this point in the season. Okay, we're 4-7. We have no chance to make the playoffs for the most part, okay, unless we win every single game for the rest of the season, but we know that's not going to happen. And legit, the only thing that matters now is the growth and development of Caleb Williams. If he keeps on looking better and better as a quarterback, if he's improving, if the offense keeps on having good performances like they've been having under Thomas Brown, I will not care what our record is at the end of the season, okay? Eberflus needs to be gone no matter what. I really hope we fire him after this game, maybe on Black Friday, if the Bears upper management has any balls whatsoever, which I don't think they do. So I don't think he's going to be fired. But if there's any chance to fire him in season, this would be the only chance. Okay, if the Bears lose this game, you know, Thomas Brown or whoever the interim head coach would be would have 10 days to prepare the Bears for the next game, because it's going to be like a mini bye week type of thing. So it would be the perfect time to fire Eberflus in season if you really want to. Now, again, I don't think it's going to happen because the Bears upper management and the ownership is not bold enough, not smart enough to make a move like that. But you know, we'll see what happens, especially if the Bears get boat raced by the Lions. Maybe there's a tiny chance that Eberflus will be gone. Now, the Lions are 10.5-point favorites in this game, obviously, because they're currently the best team in football. They're 10-1, have a fantastic offense, a fantastic defense. Things are clicking in the Motor City in a big, big way. And, you know, obviously, if you look at last year, the Bears did do pretty well against the Lions. Okay, we dominated them in the second matchup. In the first matchup, we should have won that one too if we didn't choke at the last second. But the Lions are even better this year. They're absolutely destroying their opposition. Okay, it's not even close. Most of these games, they're winning by 20, 30, 40 plus points. They beat the Jaguars 52-6. They beat the Titans 52-14. They beat the Cowboys 47-9. I mean, they're just absolutely beating the shit out of their opposition. So, you know, it is a very strong football team, a team that could win the Super Bowl this year. So it's going to be a very, very tough test for the Chicago Bears, especially being on the road. But the Lions have not won on Thanksgiving in over 7 years at this point. So maybe they have a little bit of bad luck on Thanksgiving. We will see. You know, the Chicago Bears right now are absolutely reeling. They're losing all these games in every single way possible. So, you know, I don't have high hopes for the Bears in this game, but we will see what happens. Talking about the Lions offense, guys, they rank number 1 in points scored per game, number 2 in yards gained per game, number 6 passing attack, and number 4 run game. And they just have weapons galore on this team. Okay, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously a running back, thunder and lightning combination. We know David Montgomery very well. Being Bears fans, he's having a fantastic season. And Jahmyr Gibbs also is just making electric plays happen basically every single game. He's going off for, you know, 30, 40, 50 plus yard touchdown runs just because of how fast and elusive he actually is in the open field. So, you know, very worried about the Lions run game. That's going to be very difficult to stop. And their passing attack also has been on fire the entire season. Jared Goff is having a fantastic year. He has 2,761 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a completion percentage of 72.9. That is an extremely high completion percentage. I mean, he had a game, I believe, where he completed every single pass, right? Or every single pass except for one. I think it must have been every single one, actually. I remember earlier this season. But yeah, like Ben Johnson is doing great things with this Lions offense. That's why every single Chicago Bears fan wants to hire Ben Johnson to be the Chicago Bears head coach. I mean, he's just doing fantastic things with Jared Goff. There's so many guys just streaking wide open, you know, throughout every single game. They have so many weapons like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, you know, Sam Laporta as well. And if you look at their offensive line, it is arguably the best offensive line in football. I don't even think arguably. It is definitely the best offensive line in football. They are really, really good up front. And Jared Goff, you know, usually has all day to throw the football. So, Yeah, Lions offense is not going to be easy to stop whatsoever, even though Eberflus in the past has gotten Jared Goff to look pretty bad, throw a lot of picks. I'm not as hopeful this time around with how the team kind of given up on Matt Eberflus. Talking about the Lions defense then, they rank number 2 in points allowed per game, number 12 in yards allowed per game, number 25 passing defense, number 5 run defense. And the big thing here is that they're really, really good in the red zone. Okay, one of the top 5 red zone defenses in all of football. So, that's why they're allowing so little points, even though, they have allowed teams to move the ball through the air occasionally. That's why they have, a 25th ranked passing defense. There have been big plays allowed down the field, but, when it comes time to locking down in the red zone, they have been very good at doing that. And they really control time of possession because they stop the run on defense and they run the football very, very well on offense. So opposing teams barely have a chance to have the football. They're getting down by 14, 21 points in the first or second quarter and then having to, drop back and pass in obvious passing situations where Aiden Hutchinson can get a bunch of sacks. Aiden Hutchinson has how many sacks? He has 7 sacks on the year. 7.5. Kirby Joseph has 7 interceptions on the year. He's been having a fantastic year, turning the ball over. So when this pass rush really gets after you and the playmakers they have in the secondary are just lurking back there ready to pounce on the football, that is why the Lions defense has been so good this year. Okay, their defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn could be a head coaching candidate elsewhere because he's been doing a very, very good job with this Lions defense. Talking about the Chicago Bears now, their offense ranks number 22 in points scored per game, number 26 in yards gained per game, number 29 passing attack, and number 22 rushing attack. And obviously Thomas Brown's offense has been much, much better than anything we saw under Shane Waldron. Caleb has looked very, very good the last 2 games, making clutch plays even in the fourth quarter, which should have helped the Chicago Bears win these football games, but the rest of the team kind of choked in these games. In the last game, the defense choked at the end. In the first game, Cairo Santos could not nail the game-winning field goal. So, Caleb has played well enough, honestly, to beat 2 division rivals, 2 very good division rivals. So I'm very optimistic for the rest of the season with how he's seeing the field better, getting rid of the ball a lot faster, making the crazy, extending plays that he did at USC and Oklahoma. Like, Caleb is the reason why I'm so excited to still watch the rest of the season. Even though the Bears have a 4-7 record, have no chance of making the playoffs, Caleb is making fantastic plays every single game. So I want to see how he can continue growing in this offense. Okay, the Lions have a very solid defense, especially in the red zone, but they have allowed yards through the air. So I want to see Caleb have another, hopefully 250 plus, 300 plus yard passing performance if possible, and just try to limit the sacks as well. Okay, in the last game, Caleb took a pretty bad sack in overtime. That cannot happen, okay, when you have 7 seconds to throw the football and you still can't get rid of it. He's got to be better there, but for the most part, I'm really happy with how Caleb is growing and developing with Thomas Brown. And the weapons around him also have been a lot better as of late. The drops were an issue in the last game to some extent. Keenan Allen had a couple bad drops. Cole Kmet had one too. So we have to be, have better awareness in these situations and not make the silly mental mistakes. But, for the most part, guys, the Bears offense is rolling a lot better now than they were a couple weeks ago. And talking about the Bears defense, they rank number 8 in points allowed per game, number 17 in yards allowed per game, number 13 pass defense, number 20 run defense. And it has been a fall from grace for the Chicago Bears defense because they started out this year so well on defense, but everything has been falling apart in the past couple weeks. It seems like this defense is not getting after the quarterback as much. We don't have the same amount of pressure generated. We're not getting sacks on the quarterback. In the last game against the Vikings, Sam Darnold had all day on 3rd and 15, on 2nd and 20, to throw the football, and he converted those long downs basically every single time. Okay, so we're just not getting the push up front from the D-line, and the secondary also has been slipping up the past couple weeks. Even guys like Jalen Johnson, Jalen Johnson did not have a good game against the Vikings. Now, obviously, guarding Justin Jefferson is a very tough task, and Justin Jefferson didn't even have many yards in the last game, but everybody else besides Justin Jefferson beat us in the last game. So, the CB2 spot has been a weak spot, honestly, for the past couple months now on the Chicago Bears. Both Tyreek and in the last game, even Terrell Smith have struggled at times. So we'll see if the secondary can get things, back together. But I'm not very optimistic for how the Chicago Bears defense can stop the Lions. Even though we have done that in the past, it feels like the energy is no longer there. And that's why we should have fired Matt Eberflus a couple weeks ago, because I feel like these players on defense do not want to play for their head coach anymore. With that being said, it's time for my score prediction. Who do I have win this matchup? And guys, I have the Chicago Bears going into Detroit on Thanksgiving, losing to the Lions by a score of 38-24. So yes, I do think the Lions blow us out in this one. You know, I would be pretty happy for the Bears offense to score 24, because at this point we're just looking for the moral victories, because the season is already over and we know Flus is going to be gone. And I hope if we do lose by this margin, that Flus would be gone the very next day, because this team clearly, in my opinion, does not want to play for him anymore. Okay, you got players openly questioning the coaching, the leadership, and the energy is no longer there. So I just can't see how the Bears are possibly going to upset this 10-1 very good Lions team. Now, anything is possible. Okay, it is the NFL. Any given Sunday, maybe the Lions could be due for a upset loss. You know, they have not won on Thanksgiving in a long time, so maybe the curse keeps on going on, and we've been pretty good against Jared Goff in the past couple of years. So, you know, maybe it is possible for the Bears to somehow sneak this one, you know, through and win it, but I can't predict it, guys. Like, I'm so down on Matt Eberflus right now, and if you don't have any faith in the head coach whatsoever, how are you possibly gonna get these upsets against very good football teams? My offense MVP of this game for the Bears is going to be Caleb Williams. I think Caleb has another phenomenal outing, because working with Thomas Brown, man, really good things have been happening. So I think Caleb has 285 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. I think he finally throws a pick for the first time in over a month. It's going to happen sometime. And it's probably going to be in this game against a very good Lions defense. As for my defense MVP, I'm going to be going with Gervon Dexter. Gervon Dexter was very good in the last game. He was our only pass rush really in the last game, aside from a few, you know, good snaps from Montez Sweat. But I think in this game, Gervon Dexter gets a sack and also gets a forced fumble on Jared Goff. Leave a comment down below, guys. What do you guys think is going to happen in this game? It sucks that we have to be so pessimistic for our Chicago Bears at this point in the season, but until the leadership changes, especially with the coaching staff, I'm not going to have any faith in this team to win any games for the rest of the season. But I hope all of you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I'll be back with my post-game reaction on Thanksgiving. It'll probably be a pretty short one unless the Bears have a crazy miracle win, okay? Because I don't want to spend too much time worrying about this terrible franchise on Thanksgiving. But yeah, leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.